Hi, fellow proclaimers. Welcome to Lectors Training on Sunday Readings. Today we'll prepare for January 26, the third Sunday in Ordinary Time. First, let's get familiar with some names. In the first reading, say Zebulun, Zebulun, Naphtali, Naphtali, Midian, Midian. In the second reading, say Corinthians, Corinthians, Chloe's. The Z is for the S. Chloe's. Cephas, Cephas. Let me just add baptized, baptized. This one is without the baptize, baptized. Now let's practice with the full text after some notes from our reference books. In the first reading, let us emphasize the word degraded to stress the despair that has pervaded the land of Zebulun and Naphtali by foreign invasion. But the next line should be read with joyful hope, as darkness is dispelled by the light brought by the Lord's triumph over lands that were subject to Assyrian aggression. Ultimately, Christians believe that Jesus Christ is the Prince of Peace who overcame oppression once for all. His light shines in the darkness the way no one can. The words which are highlighted here should stand out in our proclamation. Then use a lighter tone of voice in the hopeful words. In this part, use a confident tone of voice. And this word should be spoken as it sounds according to its meaning. Then again, don't forget, look at the assembly when you begin, when you end, in the middle, and at the end of every thought and sentence. First reading. A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah. First, the Lord degraded the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali. But in the end, he has glorified the seaward road, the land west of the Jordan, the district of the Gentiles. Anguish has taken wing, dispelled is darkness, for there is no gloom where but now there was distress. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Upon those who dwelt in the land of gloom, a light has shone. You have brought them abundant joy and great rejoicing, as they rejoice before you, as at the harvest, as people make merry when dividing spoils. For the yoke that burdened them, the pole on the shoulder, and the rod of their taskmaster, you have smashed, as on the day of Midian. The word of the Lord. The second reading should be proclaimed with authority and with a hint of urgent persuasion. Deliver Paul's instructions directly to the assembly in a strong tone for emphasis. Here, lower the tone of your voice. Here, Paul asks questions, and since the questions are answerable by yes or no, we use the upward tone. There is a tone of exasperation. Again, look at the assembly here in the middle, and at the end of every thought and sentence. Second reading. A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. I urge you, brothers and sisters, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that all of you agree in what you say, and that there be no divisions among you, but that you be united in the same mind and in the same purpose. For it has been reported to me about you, my brothers and sisters, by Chloe's people, that there are rivalries among you. I mean that each of you is saying, I belong to Paul, or I belong to Apollos, or I belong to Cephas, or I belong to Christ. Is Christ divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Or were you baptized in the name of Paul? For Christ did not send me to baptize, but to preach the gospel, and not with the wisdom of human eloquence, so that the cross of Christ might not be emptied of its meaning. The word of the Lord. That's it, brothers and sisters. Thank you. Join me again next week for the readings of February 2, the presentation of the Lord. Until then, goodbye and God bless.